The United States is closely monitoring a rapidly escalating situation involving Iran, internal unrest, and rising diplomatic tension. Senior officials are now describing a dangerous mix of economic pressure, communication shutdowns, and mixed signals coming from Tehran. The developments are raising concerns in Washington about stability inside Iran and the risk of further confrontation. At the center of this situation is a widening gap between what Iranian authorities are communicating publicly and what they are signaling through indirect channels. U.S. officials say the tone and message from Iran are inconsistent, making it difficult to assess the regime's intentions at a critical moment. Inside Iran, the government has taken steps to limit communication. There is a near-total information blackout in several areas, restricting internet access and other tools commonly used by protesters. According to U.S. officials, this has made it significantly harder for demonstrators to organize, share information, or sustain coordinated activity. Despite these measures, protests have continued. The unrest is linked to severe economic strain inside the country. Iran's economy is described as being under extreme pressure, with sanctions playing a central role in limiting financial activity and access to global markets. U.S. officials say these economic conditions are now directly affecting the country's internal stability. Washington believes Iranian leadership is aware of the severity of the situation. Officials indicate that Tehran understands its economy is deteriorating and that public frustration is growing. The impact is not limited to finances alone. U.S. assessments suggest the pressure is also affecting the regime's sense of security and control. At the same time, Iran has sent mixed messages regarding its nuclear program. Public statements have differed from private or indirect communications. U.S. officials say this inconsistency complicates diplomatic engagement and raises concerns about Iran's long-term strategy. The United States government has emphasized that it is watching Iran's actions carefully rather than reacting to rhetoric alone. Officials stress that policy decisions will be based on behavior, not statements, especially as tensions remain high. Congress is also being briefed on the situation. Lawmakers are examining what tools are available to address the unfolding crisis. This includes reviewing sanctions enforcement and considering how existing measures are affecting both the Iranian government and the broader population. U.S. officials note that sanctions are having a measurable impact. Economic indicators suggest serious strain on Iran's financial systems. These pressures are described as contributing to internal unrest and increasing uncertainty within the ruling structure. Despite the economic and political turmoil, the Iranian leadership has maintained tight control over state institutions. The communication blackout and security measures indicate an effort to prevent protests from escalating further or gaining international momentum. From the U.S. perspective, the situation remains fluid. Officials have not announced any immediate changes to policy but continue to evaluate developments on the ground. Diplomatic channels remain limited and messaging from Tehran remains unclear. The uncertainty surrounding Iran's intentions, particularly regarding its nuclear program, remains a key concern. U.S. officials say clarity is lacking, and this makes long-term planning more difficult. As events continue to unfold, Washington is balancing pressure with caution. Officials emphasize the importance of avoiding miscalculations while responding to actions that could threaten regional stability. In the short term, there is no indication of an immediate resolution. Economic pressure inside Iran continues, protests persist despite restrictions, and diplomatic uncertainty remains. In conclusion, the United States sees Iran facing significant internal challenges driven by economic strain and political unrest. Mixed signals from Tehran, combined with tight information controls, have added to the complexity of the situation. U.S. officials say they will continue monitoring developments closely as they assess what comes next.